Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3 Episode 10. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. For all of my new subscribers that have come for my Love and Marriage Huntsville reviews, thank you so much for giving my channel a chance. And welcome to the opinionated family. Child, let's get into it if we're gonna get into it, honey. And we are really about to get into it. When the episode first opens up, back at the Airbnb, the guys are on the court playing a little basketball. And Maurice said, you know, Mel and Martel, they brought a black cloud over the trip. It's kind of subdued. I know that wasn't meant to be funny, but the fact that these two have brought a black cloud all the way from Huntsville, Alabama, down to the Las Vegas Strip, honey, is sending me. Do y'all hear me? So Maurice feels like Mel has a point, and Marceau feels like she's using the kids as a pawn. And then he made a great point that both parties are hurting the kids in the end, and both of them are using the kids as a pawn. And honey, y'all need to cut it out. So Martel and his short set, they show up, honey, wearing a 9-month-old onesie. Boy, if you don't give Martel Jr. back his clothes, I said, what is going on? Now, I know you gained a little weight, Martel, and whatnot, honey, but I mean, come on, okay? Look at them girls, them Daisy Dukes on. Boy, if you don't take them Daisy Dukes off. So they're talking, and Martel is like, what y'all talking about? He's like, well, we were talking about my situation and your situation. So Martel was like, we already know about mine, so what's yours? I know that's right, y'all. So he starts telling them about the surprise therapy that Tisha laid on him. The fact that she had to trick you into therapy, that says a lot, okay? A whole lot. So Marceau said, you know, when I first met Tisha, she walked in like, I be feeling like the man when I walk through. Shout out to Rich Homie Quan. But I mean, this last year, she's full of doubt. Well, y'all are in the public eye now. Rumors are swirling all over the blogs, all over the Twitter sphere. After all that, honey, that's going to get to anyone. People are dogging her out all up and through the comments. Child saying you got side babies and side grandmas and 3 and 4 different. Child, it's a lot. Okay? Child, nobody even knows me. And certain things get to me. You will really be surprised. So I can only imagine what she's going through when people attack her family and her marriage. Child, nobody wants to go through that. Honey, I can only imagine if you were thrusted out of Alabama into the limelight. It's chipped away at her self-esteem, and you have to understand that. So Martel was like, well, this is a whole new world for her because you wouldn't allow her to do things. Here go Marceau. No, it's not I wouldn't allow her. It's that she didn't want to. Nah, buddy, honey, you wouldn't allow her. We remember season 1 when she wanted to work and whatnot. That's when her and Mel got into it. That's when Mel used to have the long bangs with the short sides. Y'all remember? So Louis starts giving his 2 cents. Child, nobody worried about what you or Tiffany are talking about, okay? So Martel goes, well, you need to commend her for wanting to keep the team together. Marceau is like, well, yeah, not to cut you off, but last night you was a fool. Now, he didn't exactly say it like that, but y'all know I like to zhuzh it up. He was like, y'all really need to have some respect for each other. Martel said, you know, last night we argued, and we can argue. So Marceau tries to tell Martel something, but he's like, no, I really don't want to listen to you. And in his confessional, he's like, the last person that should be giving advice to me is Marceau, especially since he didn't want to take the advice from a licensed counselor. Well, neither did you, honey. Y'all are the same person, just different versions. Child, please, you don't want to listen to nothing that therapist had to say either. Moving forward. So Maurice is telling him to overlook it because his kids are going to see this one day. Of course, Martel bald head, honey, he don't want to hear that either. He could care less. He's like, look, my life has changed for the worst. That life didn't choose you. You chose that life, honey, and that's just how that is. Martel is like, listen, y'all are not me. I appreciate y'all's help, but y'all really need to stand down because I'm still in the thick of it. So after Martel refused to listen, they hear the ladies coming out all loud and whatnot. And let me just tell you something, Tisha, you in this lime green, honey, sickening. Do you hear me? Baby, sickening in that bathing suit. Yes, body. Honey, I don't care if it was a Build-A-Bear body. I don't care if it was a BBL body. I don't care if it was a built-bought body. It's looking good in that swimsuit, okay? So they start asking about Mel, and Martel, of all people, okay, of all people, he's like, I'm going to go check on her. Now, I know something wrong with him. Gotta be. Because why would you, of all people, go and see if everything's okay with Mel after last night? And why would y'all let him? Destiny, why didn't you go? Child, it's about to go down. So Martel goes down the hall to Mel's room, right? And he's like, you okay? Did you sleep good despite everything that happened last night? She's like, I know you walked up in here last night. She was like, you know, I was asleep. He's like, yeah, so how'd you sleep? Listen, he don't want that little dip to know he trying to creep in her room late at night to make baby number 6. So I creep. Yeah, I just keep it on the down low. Shout out to TLC. Honey, you ain't fooling me. She's like, well, I slept okay, but why did you come in here last night? Girl, you know exactly why he came in there, okay? He put it down, you fall in love. Honey, he is used to sleeping and creeping, okay? You know exactly why he came in there. And he was like, well, I came to apologize. Boy, gone. Honey, you came in there for that makeup and not verbally. Honey, and I'm doing air quotes. So she's like, but at 1:30 in the morning? So then Mel tells us in the confessional, she's like, I know exactly why Martel came in my room, and it was not to apologize. Girl, we know, honey, you ain't got to tell us, but it looks good on TV. Girl, go and tell Coleslaw what he was doing on the trip of it all. So then they start talking, honey, and that was the wrong move. So Mel tells him that there are triggers for her, and the triggers are her kids. So at first Martel was listening. He was like, oh, okay, for real? Really? I didn't know that. She's like, yes. And because I pushed all of them out, I know I have 4 kids. So then he tells her, listen, I don't want to argue with you. She's like, yeah, but something is wrong with you, like I said. Okay, see, that's where you go wrong. Okay, that's where you go wrong. You don't start the sentence off with something is wrong with you. Just say, and to add to that, because you already know he's unstable. Girl, you like to add fuel to the fire. He knows the buttons to push, and so does she. Okay, she ain't getting off the hook, honey. She's just as much of a button pusher as he is. So he's like, all right, let me go. She's like, well, I'm going to stay here and finish talking. I'm going to finish what I got to say. Mel, why, honey? If he wants to walk away, let him walk away. Don't give it any energy because the two of you are still not healed yet. He said, okay. He comes in, he sits down to listen to respond, honey, because he sure ain't listening to care, okay? She's like, and also my music career. I don't appreciate you downplaying my songs, calling it bullshit. She was like, you told me congratulations and got mad because you weren't invited to the release party. Honey, I know he gets pissed when she calls out all of his lies on TV. Because we all know, honey, he been telling Ariane or whoever else or whatever else he been dealing with. It's a completely different narrative over there. And then when he gets on TV, Mel makes sure to tell us the real. Thanks, Mel. Child, Mel's so petty, child. When I tell you she is so petty. So he tells her, you know, I really want you to do great. I want you to succeed in all your business ventures and everything. I want you to be better. So then she cuts him off to start speaking her speech. And he's like, I'm out. So Mel continues to get her words out. And she says, it's a lot I could have said about him and his side chick. Well, baby, what'd she say that for? Buzzword, honey. He turned around and was like, you were a side chick to blank, 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 and blank. And they had a fiance. She was like, they didn't have no fiance. Honey, did I hear that correctly? Not you didn't correct him and say I was not a side chick. You said they didn't have a fiance. So is the side chick of the year award about you? I think you're so uncool. I think you're acting a fool. Shout out to Mel. Y'all know I cannot resist that Dr. Seussical the musical song, honey. But anywho, honey, she said they didn't have no fiance. So Mel, Martel, somebody lying. Now, I don't know who it is, but honey, it's on from here. So she's like, neither one of them have fiancés. Well, Martel seems to think that they do. So everybody's in the pool, and then they hear a whole bunch of ruckus going on. They can't even enjoy themselves, so they hop out because they can hear them arguing, and they're calling for producers and whatnot. Marceau is trying to pull them apart. Marceau is like, I don't know if this is normal for them, but it's not normal for me. And then Destiny goes, you know, I tend to just tune them out because it's a lot of, it wasn't me. Shout out to Shaggy. Honey, she's like, it's a bunch of finger pointing. It was Mel. It was Martel. It wasn't me. It was him. Honey, it's a whole bunch of mess going on. That's just what I see. And you know what? Mel really enjoys transference of energy. She loves to transfer all of that stuff that she has onto Martel, and then he throws it right back. And quite frankly, I feel like the two of them, they're addicted to dysfunction. That's just the bottom line. If it's not dysfunctional and yelling and screaming and going back and forth, honey, they don't want it. And it's the fact that they still want each other. So these two continue to yell and be inaudible because all I can hear is Mel saying, stop lying, stop lying. Then Perfect Patty and her surprise groom Lewis, honey, they in the pool. They're like, what is happening? Child, y'all just fall back, honey. This is what we go through all the time. Y'all just fall back. Don't even worry about it. Let the people who know what's happening deal with it. So then Tiffany in the confessional, here she goes. This is not transparency. You know, I'm wondering why we're doing this here. I don't need to know who's fucking who. Shut up. Girl, just shut up. Like every time I just hear her talk, honey, just shut up. Okay, this is the thing. Their emotions are too new to film together. It's so much hurt on both sides. Martel's hurt, she wised up, and she's hurt about his choices and the other child on top of filming with him and Mel touring the country. Honey, it's too much. But no, seriously, y'all. They need no contact for a whole long time, okay? Because this is embarrassing. They need to just go cold turkey, honey. If you need to exchange the kids, you need to do that through the grandparents, because they need a chance to work on themselves before they speak to each other. And that's a real thing, because let me tell y'all, when I was going through my separation/divorce with my husband, I had to take some time away from him, completely no contact, until those feelings were diminished. And when I felt whole, I was able to communicate with him better. Because in the beginning, honey, I was like Mel and Martel. Honey, I was screaming, hollering. He didn't have no side chick. I didn't have no fiance. Honey, I was hollering. I wasn't singing songs and whatnot, but still. So I understand what they're going through, so no contact is needed. So he's saying that she's coming down on him, but she was also a part of tearing another household apart. Ooh, child, the tea. And I am sipping it. Do y'all hear me? Moving forward. So after all the fuss, it's time for some messy games with the Whitlows. They come up with a silly name called Wildin' Out with the Whitlows or whatever. I'm like, child, please. Lewis throwing up West Side Connection. Boy, gone. He's like, this will probably bring up some things that we didn't know. Translation: this is a way to get all in y'all business and see why y'all been arguing. Honey, and y'all ain't fooling me. So Tisha and Kimmy go to check on Mel, and she's like, well, I'm not surprised that Martel is here, but had I known, I probably wouldn't have booked a flight. So Tisha's like, well, I'm so sorry, Mel. Tisha, honey, don't apologize to Mel. Mel, you knew Martel was coming. Stop trying to put it off on Tisha. You knew he was going to be here. What you didn't expect was all this fussing. So all the ladies come in to rally around Mel to get her to join them and whatnot. And she's like, okay, I'm going to go out there. But if Martel say one wrong thing to me, I can't be too sure about how I'm going to react. So she finally comes on out. The game is for them to either answer the questions or take a shot. And y'all know what this reminded me of. I don't know if all of you are Real Housewives of Atlanta watchers, but season 7, Nene's pillow talk, when it got messy and Candy told Mel, I'll drag you in this. Y'all remember that? And Apollo was fighting Brandon, and child, it was just a fool. Okay, that's back when Real Housewives of Atlanta was organic. That's just a side note, but that's exactly what this messy game reminded me of. Tiffany, I can't stand you. Anywho, let's continue. So Tiffany and her stringy hair, she goes over to Mel, and Mel pulls a question. So the first question that she pulls says, are your sexual needs being met? And Martel was waiting for that answer, honey. Mel was like, yeah. Now, do I believe Mel getting her back broken in? No. Do I believe that she wants to let Martel think it's all good over here? Absolutely. I know that's right, girl. She's like, you will not think I'm not getting it popping. Martel's question is, how many people have you had sex with in one night? He said 2. Well, honey, he didn't lie. All day long, he's in the streets. Then he comes home with Mel, honey. It's disrespectful. Despicable, okay? What kind of game is this? How does it make sense to add alcohol and triggering questions to a situation with a divorced pair? The Whitlows are some dim wits. Do y'all hear me? Just ignorant, honey, and I wouldn't drink nothing out of them cups, child. Tiffany is like, well, we need to know who has the highest number. We want to know who has the highest number. So Maurice is like, I slept with 6 people in one night. Child, that had to be 1 minute each. Break me off. Show me what you got, because I don't want no 1 minute man. Woo! Shout out to Missy. Child, it ain't no way you had full-on sex with 6 people in one night. Were y'all in an orgy? Like, what was happening? So Tisha is me, child. She's like, well, did you shower? Did you use protection? So here go Kimmy. We don't need to talk about this. Child, yes, we do, honey. He said 6 people in one night. Were you filming a porn? Like, what was happening? Like, we want to know. These are the burning questions, honey. Let's get into it if we're going to get into it. So Kimmy is like, well, was I one of those 6? She's saying that in the confessional with Maurice. He goes, no, it was before I found myself. She's like, you found yourself in 6 people. Sure did, child. So then Maurice goes, no, I found myself in you. Honey, sounds like some BS to me. Moving forward, Marceau's question was, have you had sex in public? He said yes, down the freeway. And Tisha was like, yeah, let him see us. Tisha, you better hope that was you he was talking about, honey, because I don't trust it. Sure. Then Tiffany said, okay, everybody pick up their glasses. I think everybody can drink to this. Tiffany said, drink if you are happy in your current relationship. So everybody takes a drink except Marceau. Okay. And Marceau, you wonder why her confidence is lacking? Just as ignorant as the day is long. Now, if there are only 3 couples there and it's one of their anniversaries, why are you asking that? So then Marceau is like, well, I didn't drink my drink. Well, go ahead and drink it and quit playing, sir. Now is not the time to be funny. He would get on my nerves. So then they say, take a drink if you ever been unfaithful. Martel is like, everybody raise their glasses. Everybody take a drink. Because honey, Martel said, y'all ain't gonna leave me out here by myself. Martel is like, everybody take a drink. Not tacky Tiffany and her perfect second husband taking shots. Honey, is that why y'all are divorced and remarried? Because y'all were cheater, pumpkin eaters? So I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh, not y'all taking a shot. But if y'all remember a few episodes back, he said he never cheated on anything. And she was like, you've never cheated on anything? And he was like, no. Honey, it's lies all the way up and through. So Tisha is like, I've never cheated, because she was the only one that didn't take a drink. So here go Tiffany. Well, aren't you a fucking princess? Somebody please gather Tiffany in her soccer mom fashions. Honey, it ain't no way I could carry on with Tiffany. And that mouth of hers, I will pop her one good time. Honey, I try really hard not to choose violence. But let me tell you something about me. Once you trigger me, I don't have an off switch. If you go there with me, we gonna get into it as we get into it, honey, and I ain't gonna back down. So I know how I am. So if I were in the room with Tiffany and she was acting the way that she was, honey, it would be on. Honey, she know who to pick on. Tisha is like, no, I'm faithful, bitch. I know that's right. You tell her, Tisha. But now, Tisha, you're going to lose me in a minute. But for right now, you tell her. Oh, crazy heifer. You really about to get on my nerves in 2.2 seconds. So both her and Marceau are like, well, I don't know what these two are trying to get out of this group. Y'all business. That's what they trying to get out of this group. Okay? They don't want nothing kinky from y'all, child. They ain't trying to get y'all to drop y'all draws. They just want to know y'all business so they can run it back and talk about it a little bit later when they pillow talk. Child, and they ain't fooling me. So Tisha does a little toast. Oh, child. I'm like, why do you need to toast, girl? And she asks, we're going on 15 years and everything. And I just want to know, what advice can y'all give us? What advice? You don't need no advice. Now, before she said this, she goes, oh my God, I'm drunk. Okay, so that was the first thing. Okay. So Tisha said to Kimmy, do you think being married later on in life, you're taking things that you wouldn't normally put up with? Of course. I mean, Maurice doesn't even keep her in the loop. Honey, next question. So then she asked Martel, you being a divorcee and everything. So, how do you deal with it? Why do you want to know about divorce when you're trying to celebrate love, celebrate 15 years of marriage? Why do you want to know about divorce? Oh, Tisha. Anyway, I'm like, okay, she must be drunk, child. So then he goes, take care of your mate. Asking Martel that question is like asking a fish what it feels like to wear shoes. Honey, they don't know. You should have taken your own advice. Tisha, stop asking all these questions, honey. What kind of trip is this? So then Tisha looks at Destiny. Destiny was like, I ain't got no advice for nobody in here, honey. I know that's right, honey. Destiny would be me. None. I have absolutely no advice for anyone, okay? So Marceau is like, what you do to make that man leave you, Destiny? Where's your ex-husband? Marceau, where is your teeth? Okay, that's what we need to be figuring out, because they disappear when you smile. Honey, leave that lady alone. So Destiny said, my biggest regret is that we didn't get to experience being a family. Child, y'all sure didn't, because honey, he was handing you divorce papers as you was pushing him out. I was like, oh, child, did you even get a chance to see the baby being born? And this is a fool. But let me just tell you something, Destiny, honey, I know all about that. And, I really do think about that often. I waited for marriage and everything, you know what I'm saying? Just to give my son, the father and the mother in the same home and everything, because my parents have been married for 39 years. They've been married for 39 years. And, I grew up in a 2-parent household and I wanted that for my son as well. But unfortunately, sometimes things don't work out that way. And, I'm doing it alone, but it was God's plan. Shout out to Drake. Moving forward, Tisha was like, it was tough for us in the beginning, but I didn't want to be a single mom. Tisha, hush, please. Okay? Hush. Okay? Just please be quiet. Sometimes it's better to be a single mom than to be a miserable married mom. Okay? I'd rather be living a single than to be miserable. So then she turns and starts attacking Maurice and Kimmy. She's like, so let me ask Kimmy this first. Is it okay if I ask him a question about Kiowa? Kimmy was looking like, I guess. So then she says to Maurice, Kiowa said, y'all could have worked it out, but you left without even trying. Do you think you could have worked it out? Do you think y'all could have made it work? I said, well, nah. I would have knocked Tisha right out of that seat. Do y'all hear me? See, Tisha, this is why the people do you the way they do, girl. And I really be trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. But why would you, A, ask him that in front of all these people and his current wife, and B, put him and Kimmy on the spot? I know she felt bad as hell. I'm like, oh my God, Tisha. So Maurice said, I left because it was best. He said there comes a point in time when it's just better to leave. So Tisha steady saying, but it depends on what it is though. But it depends on what the relationship. Be quiet. I would have to leave her event because I would not be able to. I can't be in the same space with too much stupidity. It would really work my nerves. I'm the type of person that I'm not really able to take too much. Honey, I just can't take too much. Tisha, didn't you and Kimmy just make up? Do you want him back with Kiowa? Clearly we see which sister-in-law you favored. And I really don't think you're drunk. Okay, you're one of those people that fake like you're drunk and you repeat it, I'm drunk, over and over so you seem cool. But you just said I'm drunk so that you could say what you really feel. Okay, and you ain't fooling me. Moving forward. Kimmy and Maurice in the confessional. Kimmy goes, I don't know why Tisha keeps bringing up Kiowa. He goes, it comes a time where you got to walk away. God had other plans. Kimmy goes, yep, I was the other plan. I was thinking to myself, Kiowa gonna go off when she see this. Do y'all hear me? Baby, she gonna go off. Oh, child, this is gonna be a mess. Thanks, Tisha. So after asking all these stupid questions, it's time to separate and go out. So Louis starts telling his messy, stringy head wife who is flat ironing this hair, girl, stop flat ironing that hair within an inch of its life. Stop it. Okay? It's flat. It ain't gonna get a bump. It ain't gonna get a curl. It ain't gonna get nothing in it. Leave it alone. Oh, child, I'm so tired of seeing her flat iron that same piece of hair. But anywho, that's just a side note. So he's telling his little stringy head wife in her Walmart fashions that Marceau told the guys he got surprised with therapy. She was like, well, what kind of surprise is that? The same kind you gave him when y'all got married. Neither one of them wanted it, but did it anyway. Now, what else is going on? So then Louis is like, well, everybody's not on the same level as us as far as with the communication. Oh, I forgot y'all were perfect. I forgot. So he tells her, Marceau was like she was lacking confidence. In the next scene, the ladies get to their destination and they take a shot. Soon as they sit down, they get into it. Destiny is like, I can't believe y'all never been to Vegas. She's talking to Tiffany. She's like, that's so lame. Let me tell y'all something. The way I hollered. When I tell y'all I hollered. So Tisha is like, we've learned a lot about you. So Mel goes, yeah, Tiffany is a lot of fun, isn't she? Where is she fun? So Tisha goes, I was a little worried at first. Destiny said, at first? Honey, I know that's right. So then Destiny says in her confessional, she said, look, besides her making good drinks, she's done nothing to change my impression of her. She took the words right out of my mouth. Do y'all hear me? That's exactly how I felt. Honey, I don't know about the drinks being good, but she didn't even do that for me. You showing up here and looking crazy and making crazy facial expressions and letting everybody know how great your marriage is and how great your co-parenting situation is and how great you and Big Boy are. That's all you've done. Child. She said, well, it's just that little Karen thing that she has about her. Okay, Destiny, now, you officially won me over. This is the most accurate description ever. Do y'all hear me? Ever. Now, I wasn't a Destiny fan at first, but child, I'm Team Destiny. Moving forward. So Tisha tells them she has a surprise for Marceau. So they're like, what is it? She's like, I want to throw him a semi-vow renewal. Well, honey, you got to surprise him, child. You surprise him with everything else. So then Tiffany goes, well, I heard you had another surprise. I heard you surprised him with therapy. So Tisha explains that they've never had therapy, right? She's like, that's the first time he went and he went alone. Tisha was like, no, we went together. So here go Tiffany. So he had no idea that he was walking into it. No, woman, hence the word surprise. So Destiny is like, yeah, unlike your wedding. Get her, Destiny. Finish her. Child, I was waiting for him to really get into it. So then Tiffany goes, so did it help? Tisha was like, yeah, we're doing date night and everything more regularly. This is the thing about Marceau. It's like he pretends like he's not listening, but he actually is listening. And he's kind of like the kids. Child, she started saying something about the children and whatnot. And Tiffany was like, so are y'all staying together for the kids? Oh my God. According to Marceau, they are, but that's none of your business. Okay. So Tisha goes, no, definitely not. She's like, but we're growing and things are getting better and we really want to be together. So Tiff goes, well, do you know if he wants the same thing? Tisha is like, huh? She's like, earlier Lewis mentioned that they were talking on the basketball court and whatnot, and y'all are on the same page. His feelings are different. He feels like you may not be confident in who you are. The whole time they talking, Kimmy is sitting back looking like, ask Kaya to defend you. And I was like, child, this is a mess. My thing is this. Now, why would you rush back and tell what your man told you? Child, I bet she get on his last nerves. She talks so much, and then he has to go and clean up her mess. Child, it's going to be a secret divorce if you don't stop. So Mel is like, well, what do you mean confident? Like, is he saying that she's not confident? So then Tiffany is like, well, I don't know. It might be something you may want to ask him. That smug look on Tiffany's face makes me want to slap her face. Do y'all hear me? It really makes me want to slap her face. Because, the fact that you are sitting here with this little smug look on your face, acting like nothing's wrong, like you didn't just drop a bomb in this lady's lap during her 15-year wedding anniversary trip. She does these things on purpose. So then in the confessional, Destiny goes, this is her MO. Poor timing. She cannot read a room. No, it's not even that. It's like she does these things to hurt others for enjoyment. It's that whole misery loves company type of thing. Then the minute you check her, then she starts crying and acting like you just assaulted her. So you're definitely right. It's very much Karen-like. So Mel is like, girl, she giving you some tea. You better take that tea and make it sweet. Mel, stop. Okay, just stop it. Because if this was your 15th wedding anniversary trip, you would not want no mess being delivered to you like that. You really need to cut it out. If you don't like Tisha, just say that. Because it's like you also get enjoyment in hearing other people talk about Tisha's marriage falling apart. You really need to cut that out. She's like, she really telling you what you need to know. You need to be listening. Mel, this lady is not telling her any of this for her benefit. So please just stop it. Child, it's not very becoming. Moving forward. Tisha on the inside shook, honey, and it's written all over her face. It's written all over your face. Shout out to the Rude Boys. Child, you ain't got to say nothing, honey. Tisha, I know it's killing you on the inside, honey, but you're putting up a good front. She says, just know that I'm not lacking any type of confidence in anything. I know that's right, Tisha. So then Tiffany was like, I love it. Okay, girl, shut up. So Destiny said, that seems real shady. So then Tiffany is like, well, he told the guy she surprised him with therapy, and that's not really a surprise. So Destiny said, didn't you surprise your husband with a whole wedding? Yes, child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Do you hear me? So Tiffany is like, well, a whole wedding that he waited for. Sweetheart, a man don't wait on no wedding, okay? He wasn't budging, so you pulled the trigger. Did you propose to him too? Girl, goodbye. So Destiny is like, you just jump in like you've known us forever. You did the same thing at my birthday, and right now I was offended when you were saying that to her. Child, me too. I was offended, honey, and I ain't even there. So Tisha was like, well, I didn't appreciate it. But it just seems like that's what she does. She just speaks her speech. So Destiny said, well, it's a way to do it. You need to have, what does Kimmy say? You need to have some couth. So Mel said, so what do you want her to do? Not say it? Destiny is like, here you go again, defending Tiffany. Mel is like, I just want you to explain it. She said, I just did explain it. I literally just explained it. So Tiffany starts acting like she's the marriage expert. She's like, we were talking about 15 years and that was just an example of communication. So Destiny goes, so it was an example of a conversation that he had with the other men and then you had with your husband and you ran it back? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Girl, please, that was not an example. That was your opportunity to speak out of turn and try to hurt someone else's feelings and drop them down a notch because he gave you this little tidbit of information before your stringy head left the house. Okay? Girl, goodbye. She's like, because she was talking about the kids and I said something about the kids and I asked if she's staying together for the kids. Destiny is like, that's offensive. Lady, do you not know what offensive means? I'm really starting to think you don't comprehend well. Like something has to be wrong with you. And this is what y'all hired down at the Chambers of Commerce? Child, goodbye. Child, it is a fool. I am certain that Tiffany got an F and works well with others at school. Honey, I know in my class, she definitely would have got an F. Do y'all hear me? So Kimmy is like, okay, let's just stop. They said it was bothersome. So I don't think you should defend it because they're saying it's bothersome. Tiffany is like, listen, I'm transparent. I'm the same way with my children. Honey, these are not your kids, okay? These are not this is not your son and your bonus kid, or however you like to say it. And no, you're messy, okay? Can't hold water. You talk just to hear yourself speak. That's the bottom line. You don't mean anybody any good. They planted you here to start a bunch of mess and a bunch of chaos. So Destiny said, well, with adults, you need to be more cognizant in how you deliver it. So then Tiffany tells Destiny, well, obviously you feel some kind of way in your Detroit, Atlanta, Huntsville, all of the places you've lived. They come all out in I don't know what she was talking about. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? What does Detroit, Atlanta, and Huntsville have to do with anything? So Destiny said, don't shade me. Don't play with me. Okay, now honey, when she hit it with a don't play with me, she was like, we need to go real quick. Don't play with me. Because Detroit, Atlanta, all these places, you can get dragged in all those places. Here go Mel. Don't say she can get dragged in all these places. I think you're so uncool. Mel, shut up. Just hush. Mel is all like, don't be saying you'll drag her. No, Mel, she needs a good dragging, okay? Destiny, handle your business, honey. And child, I'm shocked Tiffany didn't call security. Honey, and that was the end of the episode. Tiffany got on my nerves. And again, Carlos King, honey, I know you ain't listening to my reviews, honey, because you hang out with other reviewers that are bigger than I. But I'm just going to say this, honey, and put it out in the atmosphere. We do not want Tiffany. We don't want her. We don't want her husband. We don't want her storyline. We don't want to know about her son getting his first haircut at 99 years old. We don't want Tiffany, honey. We don't give a damn about Tiffany and her storyline. Y'all, please comment down below. Tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Marceau was rude. Tisha was delusional. Mel was hollering and fussing and fighting for absolutely no reason. Martel, I can't even tell if he was telling the truth or not, honey, but must be some truth to it because I caught Mel in that fraudulent slip. So, child, let's get into it as we get into it down in the comments. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.